Attention passionate Seattle Seahawks fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC West and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Seattle Seahawks' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Seattle Seahawks fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Seattle SEAHAWKS fans. Let's get to the news now, folks. If you thought the NFC West was already competitive, hold on because things are heating up in a way that could reshape the division entirely. Recent rumors are swirling around, and they involve none other than the Los Angeles Chargers. Yes, the Chargers, who are reportedly engaged in serious talks about trading one of their key defensive players, safety Derwin James, to the Seahawks' division rivals, the San Francisco 49ers. But what makes this rumor even more intriguing is the potential that the Seahawks are also eyeing this move, hoping to strengthen their secondary and overall defense. So let's unpack what's happening here, what it could mean for Seattle, and how it might influence the entire landscape of the NFC West this season. First, let's talk about Derwin James himself, because this is a player who, at just 29 years old, has established himself as one of the most versatile and impactful safeties in the league. James has built a reputation as a hybrid defender, someone who can do it all. He's not just a traditional safety, he's a playmaker, a true all-around force on the field. In the 2025 season, he racked up impressive stats with 48 tackles, 3 interceptions, and 2 sacks. That kind of production, combined with his elite coverage grade of 89, 8 from PFF, makes him a top-tier asset for any defense. His ability to cover the pass, as shown by his 14 EPA allowed per target, and his forced incompletions rate of 15% put him in the top tier of safeties. Plus, he's a hitter, ranking among the top 2 in hits with 20, and he's excellent against the run with 16 run stops. This kind of versatility is exactly what the Seahawks have been looking for. Remember, Seattle's defense has been trending upward, and they've been very strategic about building a secondary that can keep up with the league's best passing attacks. Given that, acquiring a player like James could be a game changer. His career stats are equally impressive: over 542 tackles, 18 interceptions, and 5 sacks across his career, which has been marred slightly by a suspension in Week 4 of this season, but remains highly impactful. The Seahawks, after their playoff push last year, are eager to continue that momentum, and adding someone like James could push them into a new echelon of defensive excellence. Now, let's talk about the Chargers' side of this story, because they're not just shopping James because they don't want him. No, they're in a bit of a rebuild mode, focusing heavily on developing their quarterback, Justin Herbert, and retooling the roster to be more competitive. Their defense, currently ranked 21st in the league at 24 points allowed per game, is underperforming, especially considering that James is a player who has the capability to elevate the entire unit. The Chargers are also reportedly willing to part ways with Julian Love, freeing up about $14. $8 million in cap space, which indicates they might be looking for a fresh start, a rebuild, or perhaps just trying to acquire draft capital for the future. Rumors suggest they're offering a third-round pick in the 2026 draft in exchange for James, which indicates they see him as a long-term asset, but are also open to making bold moves to reshape their defense. But why would the Seahawks be interested in this? Well, for starters, Seattle has been quietly building a very promising defense, especially in the secondary. With players like Tariq Woolen, who has shown flashes of being an elite shutdown corner, the addition of a versatile safety like James could complement that perfectly. The Seahawks are aiming to elevate their defense from a good unit to a top 3 defense in the league. Last season, they ranked 6th in points allowed, surrendering just 17 points per game, and they're looking to tighten that even further. Bringing in James would not only provide an instant upgrade in coverage and run support, but also add a veteran leader who can be the linchpin of their secondary for years to come. Statistically, what kind of impact are we talking about? Well, projections suggest that with James in the fold, the Seahawks could see an increase of about 8 turnovers over the course of the season, which is huge considering how much turnovers can swing games. They could also see their pass yards allowed drop from around 188 yards per game to closer to 160, a significant reduction that would make opposing offenses think twice before throwing deep. tackles could increase by roughly 12%, adding more consistency and reliability to their run defense. And with his coverage grade improving by 17%, James would fit perfectly into a secondary that's already showing promising signs of synergy, especially with Woolen emerging as a lockdown corner. Now, let's not forget about the bigger picture here. This potential acquisition, or even just the rumors of it, has already begun to shift the betting odds for the Seahawks' Super Bowl chances. Last season, before the rumors, Seattle's odds to win it all were around plus 700, but after the buzz started, those odds have dropped to about plus 400. That's a clear indication of the confidence that analysts and betting markets are placing on the Seahawks' chances if they do make this move or strengthen their roster in this way. The idea is that with James, the Seahawks could become an even more formidable force, especially against top-tier offenses led by elite wide receivers like Cup of the Rams, against whom they've shown they can be a shutdown unit when it counts. The vision here really is reminiscent of the Seahawks' legendary Legion of Boom era. Imagine Derwin James as a modern-day chancellor, a versatile, hard-hitting safety who can take away the deep ball, shut down the run, and ignite the backfield with his presence. It's an exciting prospect that could redefine the Seahawks' defensive identity, taking it from a good unit to a dominant one that strikes fear into opponents. The potential for James to act as a sentinel, a true last line of defense and a leader on the field, could energize the entire team and set the tone for a deep playoff run. The Seahawks, with their young, talented core, are clearly aiming high, and adding a player of James's caliber would send a message to the league. They're not just content with competing, they want to dominate. And I think it's worth mentioning that this kind of move also fits into Seattle's broader strategic vision. They've been patient, building through the draft, developing young talent like Woolen, and now they're looking to take that next step with key veteran additions. It's about creating a balance, youth mixed with experience, speed combined with physicality. James could be that missing piece that helps transform the Seahawks into a true Super Bowl contender once again. Fans are excited, and the energy around the team is palpable. The coaching staff has shown they're willing to make bold moves, and this rumored deal fits perfectly into that mold. Of course, the Chargers might have their own reasons for making this deal. They're prioritizing their rebuild, focusing on their quarterback, and trying to create a more sustainable, competitive roster for the long term. But for the Seahawks, this is all about seizing opportunities, making smart moves, and capitalizing on the current window of contention they're building. The secondary, especially, is an area where they want to make a statement, and acquiring Derwin James would do exactly that. It would send a clear message across the league. The Seahawks are serious about chasing another Super Bowl, and they're willing to make bold, strategic moves to get there. So in summary, the rumors are swirling, and the potential implications are massive. The Seahawks are in a prime position to elevate their defense, and James could be the catalyst for that transformation. With his impressive stats, elite versatility, and leadership qualities, he's exactly the kind of player that can turn a good defense into a championship-caliber unit. The division rivals better watch out, because if this move comes to fruition, the NFC West could face a whole new level of competition. The Seahawks are certainly aiming high, and I, for one, can't wait to see how this story unfolds in the coming weeks. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YOUTUBE algorithm to keep recommending the latest Seattle Seahawks news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, Seattle Seahawks fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on all these rumors? Do you believe the Seahawks are actually going to make a move for Derwin James, or do you think the Chargers will hold on to him? How would you feel about that? Drop your thoughts in the comments below because your opinion matters so much to us and to the Seahawks community. Do you think this move could be the key to pushing Seattle into Super Bowl territory? Or is there something else you'd like to see the team do? Remember, your voice is important, and I always love hearing your insights. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, more rumors, and more deep dives into everything Seahawks. Stay tuned, keep the passion alive, and let's keep this conversation going. Thanks for being part of this incredible community, and as always, go Seahawks.